The Rap Roundtable.
Yes, sir. New York's #1 podcast for hip-hop today returns with episode 64, The Rap Roundtable. It's your boy Jarv here alongside Sincere the Rap Snob.
What up, what up?
Alongside Dini the Balance.
The force be with you.
Alongside the homie Mace.
Yeah.
And for 64, we have a very, very special guest. I met her a few years ago at a show with the homie Syph, actually. Went to go see Syph perform, and she got on stage, and I'm like, oh, this is different. She got a different vibe about her. Stage presence is mean. The sonics are mean. And I'm like, yo, I got to connect with her. This is like maybe 2018. And I'm like, one day or the other, we're going to get her on a podcast. I hit her up like maybe 2 years ago, pandemic time. Wasn't the right time. Hit her last year. Wasn't the right time. It's always about timing.
Thanks.
So, clearly, as you can see, people, it's the right time. La Madrina, Poiison. Welcome to the Rap Roundtable.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Happy to have you.
We'll have some fun, right?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
You can find the Rap Roundtable on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and of course, Twitter. The culture is live on Twitter. Make sure you follow us there. I think I'm ready to talk. Matter of fact, I missed this drop the last time and I was tight about it. So let me find my favorite drop.
We are tonight's entertainment.
Wait. Who made this beat?
And the beat you hear in the background.
Always got to remind them.
I'm a terrible host.
Let them know.
It's brought to you by Sincere the Rap Snob. He makes beats.
Holla at me.
You already know the vibe. So before we get to know Poiison, what we like to do here is we like to set the table. We like to set the tone with a topic for our listeners to really lock into. Poiison, we won't ask you anything that's going to make you look crazy a few years down the road. Trust me. We got you.
We're going to take care of you.
We got you.
But you can talk your shit if you want.
We're all agreeing
it's all
to
up
that.
to
That shit sounds sketchy.
We're going to hold you down because we
Sound
talk
like
crazy.
it's going to go the opposite
It's not.
direction.
It's not.
Energy here at the table.
Although
Okay.
there's been times where some managers is looking at the artists like, don't say nothing while we're interviewing them.
I think we reverse psychology.
I can spar.
There you go.
Nah, you good. So we, in the last year or so, we've connected with a lot of Nas fans.
Yeah.
And sorry, Sin. A lot of Nas fans, sorry, chat, really believe that they are the beacon. They are the thermometer of hip hop.
What's wrong with that?
I don't want to make it an insult. That's why I'm apologizing first. They believe that they speak for the culture. They believe that their temperature decides the culture. As a Jay-Z fan, a very loud one, I feel like sometimes that they're a little too judgmental when it comes to things that don't involve Esco.
Oh, man.
So my question for
Tell
the
me about
table
it.
to set the tone off the rip is, are Nas fans too judgmental? So Sincere the Rap Snob, you are the Nas fan at the table. The number, we know you're a turncoat. You don't know who you cheer for. But I'm here for it.
He's a fake Nas fan
Fake
and a
Nas-
fake Jay-Z
yeah,
fan.
I'm here for
Oh,
it.
man.
I'm here for
I think Nas fans are too judgmental. What do you think about that?
Not
if,
Syrian #1.
if by judgmental you mean having standards,
You see?
then
Oh.
see,
You see?
then
All
cool,
right.
yeah. We're a little judgmental, but
Okay.
judgmental in a way where listen, man. We grew up in. Sorry for anybody else out there that's too young to remember, but we grew up in the best era of hip hop, the golden era. Nas was the elite MC of the time, right? So that bar was set super high early on. So it just is what it is in those terms. You know what I mean? Like we were spoiled.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, just because we look at certain things and we're like, all right, that's cool, but we're not gonna lower our standards for nothing, for nobody.
Yo.
You gotta
this
raise
guy?
the bar to where we have it.
Wow.
Wow, bro.
Judging.
Sin has
That is
spoken.
what it is.
That's
Judges.
crazy.
What's crazy about it?
Everything about that.
How?
How do y'all
I'll
get to
sway.
dictate what's what? You know what I mean?
Because it is what it is, man. Like, listen. Nas came out the gate with Illmatic. He set the tone early,
Right.
super early.
That was 30 years ago.
So that bar is still there.
Poiison. I wasn't gonna come to you so soon, but don't you hear this shit? Like, this is what we call
What's wrong?
judgment.
What's wrong with it? I don't.
I don't want to ask if you think Nas fans are judgmental, but what, as an artist, how do you feel about people who are supremely harsh about what they expect the culture to be about?
I think they're just passionate.
Okay. Well played.
So, you know.
That was safe. That was safe.
Well,
That was good. I ain't gonna lie. That was
like
good.
Yeah, I think they're super passionate. They love the culture. Go so hard about their feelings, you know. I mean, Stitch is really into it, so I can't judge them. I can't fault them. Shit, I'm happy somebody loved the culture that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have an ally here, Sincere.
Thank you. I
Right.
appreciate
Shout out
that.
to you, Poison. I was hoping for some action there, but I
I'm
guess,
crying.
damn it.
She
Tried
shake
to
and
get
bake
her.
you.
Tried to get
Yeah,
it.
she crossed me just now. I got to recover from that. Dee, talk to me.
I think the history is just too much, man. The history between the Nas fans and the Jay fans is too much for them to just accept some new Jay without being overly judgmental, you know?
Not even just Jay, just generally. Like
Yeah, like hip hop in general.
Let him talk about Wayne right now. They in the chat throwing tomatoes.
Like
and then by that
crazy.
standard, then yes.
Let them
super
talk about
crazy.
drill right now.
That's
They
crazy.
throwing tomatoes.
But like niggas, I hear what you're saying. You're right. It is the standard.
Mhm.
But like sometimes you gotta have a little fun. You know what I'm saying?
Ease up.
Yeah, like
Little bit?
Nas fans are very strict. You
Nah,
know that.
fuck that. We ain't easing up.
You
Fuck
know that. Nas fans are very to the core, very to
Mm.
the grain. A lot of Nas fans don't really allow the way Nas didn't allow too much kind of like fun shit to enter his music for a little while.
Right.
To say, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Escobar. But yeah, but sometimes you gotta lower your guard. You gotta step out
You
your
know what I
comfort
say
zone.
though. You know what I say. It's just a lot of people ain't on the wavelength. You know what I mean?
Yo, you gotta get rid of that, bro. You gotta let people exercise their rights, bro.
Where's my drop? I can't even find it. Look at this devil. I'm gonna ask him. What are you talking about, bro? Maze,
passionate.
jump in here and make some sense of this shit, bro. Cause I'm already disturbed for the whole episode now, bro.
I'm trying, Job. I'm trying. Now, you know, Poison, she actually talked me down a little bit. I came in here hot. Like I was about to go
ready?
off. I was ready. Poison, she actually provided your pause. She provided some levity to the conversation a little bit. Not sin. We don't trust him when it comes to that.
I'm in the middle. I'm creating the balance.
She's the balance. She
Poison
replaces
the
you.
balance.
Dave. She replaces
love
you.
it.
Oh, she coming
I
for your
love it.
spot, Dean.
And at the,
I love
on one aspect, I'm like, yeah, being held to like a level of excellence, that's a good thing, right? Like it's, you know, there are fans like that everywhere. I'm sure hockey fans, you know, feel the same about Gretzky, you know what I mean? And, you know, Jack Nicklaus fans are screaming this about golf, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is that it's fake at the end of the day. And you
Right.
want to know why it's fake,
Why is
guys?
it fake? Why is
It's
it fake?
because this level of excellence is just, it's just held in a sense where it's like, okay, this is not what we like. But if Nas likes it, we likes it. Because I've heard Nas fans
They DJ
for
Khaled?
years. They talk crazy about
I
the
like
Grammys.
what Nas likes.
You know what I
Alright.
mean? And all of a sudden, Nas got a Grammy. And it's like, now I hear about how important a Grammy is all day.
Yeah.
No,
That-
no,
you
don't
know,
do that.
that's a
man.
fact.
No,
Did happen.
that's not a fact.
That did happen.
21 Savage was trashed the whole week that he made that point, and then he made a song with Nas, and it was like, you know what? 21 Savage is nice.
He's
like,
the most grown
he's
that
dope.
artist-
That
No.
21
cool.
guy is okay.
He's not so bad.
That's
That
probably
didn't
why he
happen.
made that.
I saw it
greatest
happen when
rapper
I was
list.
a kid with Ludacris. Ludacris was the word of mouth rapper. He did the Made You Look remix, and now he's like, you know, the second coming of Redman.
Wow.
This is what Nas fans do. You know what I mean? Everything
That's a good
sucks
fan base.
until Nas, you know,
That's
co-signs
a good
it.
fan base.
So that's how I feel about it.
Talk
Ultimately,
about
it's a
it.
little bit disingenuous, and that's my problem. You know what I'm saying?
Nas
I
fans
just
can
feel
hate
like
Does the personality go with the sound? Is this something like that? The sound that Nas creates that just brings in those kind of personalities?
yes, because they're all Pokemon, and they all recite his lyrics, and they all say the same things about other rappers. Yeah, I got the Mets hat on right now. I don't care. Yeah, like the Nas fans, they feel like everything, well, a large majority of them, it needs to be Illmatic. It needs to sound like Illmatic. It needs to sound like 92, 93, 94. They'll be in our comment section reciting Nas lyrics. And it's like, bro, it's 2023 and you're reciting lyrics from 1992.
So what?
You don't give other niggas a chance to shine, or at least to me, I don't think they grade other acts fairly. They graded on this impossible Nas scale, and it's like everybody's not gonna be Esco.
It's not impossible. Nas did it.
One person, one person.
Well,
Anyway,
Oh
Pop's
man.
greatest MC.
I'm watching y'all Nas fans. I've been
Kendrick
reading
didn't
the
do a
chat.
sin?
I told you I got cases on every last one of
okay, 2
y'all.
people.
Wow.
Just 2 people. That's it,
Synergy.
man.
He said Kendrick.
Kendrick,
Get the
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
out
Fuck
of here.
outta
Get the fuck
here.
out of here, bro. No way. All right, so Poison. I talked about timing at the top of the episode. Part of that timing is that, you know, new mixtape drops, La Madrina. We were at Quad Studios the other night to tap in to get an idea of what's coming with this project. I was pleasantly surprised with how you decided to approach it, especially on the front end. It's not what I was expecting based on your previous work. Mm-hmm. So, like, tell us what went into the creation of La Madrina.
Well, I think it was super random.
Okay.
I was in the studio with my two close friends, and they were like, I have a plan. I have a plan. I have music coming out this year. It's going to get pretty interesting.
Okay.
And what happened was I need something to keep people engaged and keep people here while I'm still figuring out, the maze. Different conversations, different things going on. But people are reaching out to me like, I want a song. Oh my God, I want to hear this. You're in the studio. What's going on? Okay, let's just give them a body of work.
Okay.
Nothing to think about way too much. Let's jack people's beats, make it a mixtape. Let's make it organic. Let's make it something different. And let's just pick everything that's been lit in the last year. And that's how it kind of came out. Started with one song. Then we knew that we had that idea. So my producer will pull up like, yo, this beat, try this beat, you know what I mean? So it kind of just came up randomly. It was for the people, free for the people, just I'm here, we woke, you know what I mean? There's different styles, don't get it twisted, even though, I'll get on my super melodic vibe, but, we can play around, we can have fun, we can get aggressive, we can talk shit. Don't get it twisted because it's not happening doesn't mean it can't happen, you know what I mean? So like I said, this was more so for us, for the people to come in, just chill, bear with me.
Almost like an appetizer basically before the main course.
Yes.
So you mentioned jacking beats, and that was one of the first things that we noticed when we was able to, okay, these are some notable beats. She's pushing her pen. Like I'm very accustomed to melodic Poiison. You were rapping. Especially in the first half of that tape.
It's funny because some people tell me that the opposite. I'm used to you rapping, now you're singing all the time. It just depends how long, you've been kind of like vibing with me. You know what I mean? And what's crazy? Even though with the project, even though I'm rapping, my most popular song becomes the melodic song.
I mean, it's fire,
But it's fun. It's art. Let's just have some fun. I've always been super poetic, so it's like it's the same thing.
Did you feel any pressure getting on some of those beats, considering that the artists who are on those beats already, now you're the person that's trying to jack these beats?
So that's a good question because, and this is a funny one right here too. Some of the beats of this project, I haven't even heard the songs.
Right.
So they were brought to my attention and don't listen to the song. All right, bet, let's do it intentionally. Don't get me wrong. Some of them I was just like, for example, I think it was the Unholy one with Sam Smith. I was like, let me just hear what he did. Like, let me just see what's going on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, heard it maybe for about 30 seconds. Okay, this is enough. I don't want to get influenced by it. You know what I mean? Pressure, of course. These are phenomenal top artists who are fudging dope. You get what I'm saying? Like,
you can curse here.
Okay. Yeah. Dope, like Tim's, like
that remix,
that high note, though, trying to get to the end of it, hitting that high note, that girl can sing, so it is a little intimidating, but it's like I can only be me. Somebody's gonna like it, and if they don't, but I know I put my foot on their necks with it. You feel me? I gave it my own vibe, and that's what I think what makes it more special, because it's like, damn, I didn't think she would go that route with it. You know what I mean?
So part of this mixtape is you challenging yourself, is what I'm hearing.
Definitely.
Okay, all right. I like that. I want to get into another topic before we get back to Poiison. So I talked about the judgmental Nas fans, and they pretend like shit that certain people do, Jay-Z. It's not fire. So my question for Mace, because I've heard enough from you, Sam. I've heard enough from you.
What you mean?
Is if Hove drops an album this year, I fully expect a Hove album this year.
Right.
Do you think the Nas fans in the chat are gonna respect that album if it's a classic?
Y'all just hit me with an interesting question just now, because
I don't think they're unbiased. They swear they're unbiased, but I think they're the most biased ones.
Now, I do think you have a point there. I do think that if Hove drops a classic, it might not be the best received by Nas fans. There's already the unspoken, like, You know what I'm
The
saying?
energy that's
We
there.
don't even know, whole fans might have felt the way about this KD run. You know what I mean? We got to keep it a stack. But I got to counter Jaw, man, because the greater public said that Jay-Z dropped a classic with his last album. So if Jay-Z drops a classic, Jaw, will you respect it?
Oh, top rope Mace.
Wow, bro. That's crazy.
Wow. If it's fire, full disclosure, 444 dropped. I wasn't a fan. I'm still not a fan. But it had more to do with the production. I'm sorry, Sin. And the subject matter, I didn't relate to it anymore. Like the shit that Hov was trying to preach about credit and being a better man and all of that. Like I was already there. I'm still there. Huh?
Are you apologizing to me?
Because you like the producer who produced for.
I mean,
Shouts to No ID.
No ID. I am
your
a fan.
mans.
I mean, I'm a fan of his as a producer, but I wasn't a fan of the production on that particular album.
Fair
either,
play,
so.
fair play. So I didn't like the album sonically. I didn't like the subject matter because it just didn't relate to me. But I can also see that it opened eyes to people that weren't in that space, and hearing a guy like Jay talk about bettering yourself as a man, they fucked with that. I never judged people for liking 444. I just personally didn't like 444.
Okay.
But I felt like he got off on the Jay Elect album.
Heavy,
That's the Hov that I like.
Heavy.
So if it's fire and if it's some shit I want to hear, hell yeah, I told you I got a cape, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking in here with that shit.
The Mets hat will come back.
Mets hat,
You dig?
the classic material hoodie, and the cape on.
Switch it to a Yankee. Switch it to a blue Yankee.
The fans want the Mets hat.
They
know what that means.
They
We
know what it means.
So yeah, yes, Mace. If it's fire, I would like it.
Well-
If it's trash, I'm not fucking with it.
Well-
Long story, less long.
Right.
Yeah,
What, what's on the cape? Is it
it's just a black cape.
just a black cape? There's
Gotta go
no
with the hoodie.
Rockefeller chain on it? Nothing?
I'm not signed to Rock Nation. I ain't get the chain yet, bro.
No paper plane.
That's a life goal of mine, though. I want that Rockefeller chain. 10 more years. I'm gonna get it. Manifestation.
Yes.
What you got to say about that, Sam?
I mean, I'm always willing to give credit where it's due. Jay has a ton of classics, and if he drops another one, of course I'm gonna. I mean, look, this thing where like I'm a fake Nas fan if I give Jay props is crazy. So you know what I mean? Like if he drops a classic, I'm gonna call it a classic. I'm gonna give him his flowers as he deserves
His
it.
mama called him Claire. Call him
But
Clay.
it gotta be like a real classic. It can't be like, it can't be like 444. You know what I mean? It's gotta be like a because there's a lot of fans of 444, but I also see a lot of people saying it didn't really live up to like all the hype that everybody put it up to. So
Okay.
it's gotta be like something that's like undeniable.
Sin, do you feel American Gangster is a classic?
I don't think it's a classic. I think it's close. I think it's a banger.
Very good album, man.
It's a very, very
It's a
good.
classic.
It's a great album.
It's a classic.
It's not really a classic though.
All right, Dini, go ahead. I don't want to hear from this guy.
Not,
I really don't want to hear from you for the rest of the night.
Brooklyn
bro.
2.0, like that already like knocks it off. Maybe 4.5.
It's not a flawless victory, but it's a classic. Dini, talk to me.
Sin's fighting this right now. I think like anything else, good music will always win, bro.
Right.
Like you're not the biggest Nas fan, but you've given heavy acclaim to this KD run.
Fire is fire.
Given heavy acclaim to that Magic album. So it's the music, like anything else, man, will set you free. And I just feel like as long as Hov brings the Hov that we know and love, pause, you know what I'm saying? Like I think it's Hov, bro. Even in Hov's losses, he wins. So it'll still work. I just think the music got to be good. If it's anything semblance of the J Elect shit we got, it's a beautiful start, man.
That sounds like very Standish.
How?
Even when he loses, he wins. Like
How does he
come
not?
on, bro? Like,
That's a good
If-
IG
if-
caption.
how does he
bro,
not?
if the album wasn't good, then
I mean,
how does he still
okay,
win?
I'm talking about in the
Applaud
sense of,
Dini.
in the sense of
Come on.
Applaud him.
how many people
Yeah,
would have
good point.
survived?
Y'all
How
be
many
grading
people would
him
have
on a
survived?
curve,
How many people
bro.
would have survived that ether? Not only did he survive,
That's
he came
true.
back hotter. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That's true.
That's
I'm just saying, like if he drops another album,
I want problems.
we're not gonna grade it on a curve like we did 444.
if it's fire.
Ooh.
I'm not a big 444 fan. If it's
Exactly,
fire, it's fire.
but in general, that shit was graded on a curve.
What's greater than the curve?
444 was.
Okay. You have a question for Poiison?
Let me talk my shit, man. What's the problem?
Yeah,
music, your
I'm
music.
sick of your shit.
Poison, what up?
What's goody?
So I got a question for you in terms of like, and I'll be honest. Part of me feels a little bad going in this direction, but I feel like, it's a worthy question. As a woman in the game, and there's always a lot of chatter about women MCs, women rappers. There's a lot of chatter about like, all they talk about is this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? As a woman, do you feel like these are fair critiques, or like, women are overly criticized in rap?
In music as a whole, really.
But more so in rap.
Yeah. The rap Roundtable.
I don't know. I don't really pay attention to it. I'm not sure. Are they hard on us? Right now, I think not. I think it's an easier space for us right now. I guess if you consider the fact that there can only be one of us or three of us, that is hard. You know, I guess they always try to, for some reason, put us like against each other, or it can only be one, or in that sense, I guess it's hard to get out of that stigma or that vision that they have for us. But I don't know. I can't really.
Okay.
You don't think that they kind of get placed in a box a little bit?
Especially
Definitely, but it's a genre.
Kind of area.
But that's a genre. Why shouldn't they place a female rapper who just talks about that in a box? That's what they're doing.
I like that.
It's not like they're being super creative or doing. That's a genre. They're an MC. They should be put in the MC box.
I like that answer.
So I have a question for you. How do you feel that the what? What? Let me cook.
Go ahead, Dean.
How do you
let him go? I'm trying to have some fun.
Exactly.
What's
up? She's super grown with it. All right. I don't even want to know. But as a person, I listened to your music the other day and was very impressed with the way, just the different styles, just the vibes. Like you're really an artist. So how do you feel knowing that the artistic female is not getting the kind of shine that the pussy rapper kind of gets? You get what I'm saying?
Sexually charged rapper.
Sexually charged.
Genie.
Which there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that though.
Everything is twerk. My box this. I got your man with the action this. He bought me a purse this.
Man.
So I'm saying like for people who rap, like in the sense of like a rhapsody. You know what I'm saying? In a sense of like when Remy was doing her thing, like they never got the kind of boost that like a Ice Spice kind of gets. You know? What do you think about that?
That's a good question. I think I do understand that, which is why I create the way that I create. Cause it's like if they're not jacking it, if they're boxing us, if they're saying this about us, how can I kind of break that? You know what I mean? How can I still be creative and still get them to listen and still be different and still be labeled that? I guess that's where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? Why don't the question is why they don't get the
like why do you feel
because
away about
I mean
that?
You know, do I feel away? I'm trying to wrap my head around the question. You know what I mean? Like people, it's like the WNBA. Like, you know, y'all was all screaming free.
Brittany Griner.
But nobody really goes to the games, you know what I mean?
Right,
so it's like
fact.
y'all be requesting these females to talk about something different, but when it's something different, like is y'all really listening to
That's
it?
a fact.
And then are they
Talk
really
about it.
playing it? You know, you get what I'm saying? The stuff they're playing is just stuff that's gonna sound good in the club or what the tastemakers make cool. You get what I'm saying?
Right,
So
I feel you.
it's a never-ending cycle of bullshit that I can't even. I don't even know how to answer that.
No, I respect it.
Before you answer the question, because I see where she's going, I get where Dini's going. So my question to you would be, matter of fact, go ahead. Hold on. Do you feel pressure to conform to that? It's really what I want to know.
Oh, that's a good one. Sometimes you feel the pressure.
Okay.
But I just can't. Like, even if I tried to do it, I listen to it, and I'm like, that's not me. And don't get me wrong, I'm very sexually charged if you listen to my music.
Indeed.
It's just the way that I do it.
The way you deliver it is not so over the top.
You know what it makes me think
and
of?
I might say even some crazier shit. You know what I mean?
It was a lot more lady-esque with your shit.
You know what it makes me think of? The way Missy made her music, like And it
That's amazing because I just posted her today because she
That's-
was the
that's
first
right.
woman in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
yeah, that's
Absolutely.
So I'm
crazy.
like, you know, I'm
And
trying to be
and
number two.
She came up like rapping. Granted, she's not like the boom bap rapper, but she's always been known for her style, her energy, her vibe. You know.
And like I said, she figured out the formula. You feel me? There's a formula.
Yeah.
And you know what? Fuck it. Everybody not supposed to have it. It is
Right.
what it is. Let
Right.
people create in their way.
And her music never suffered from. That's really the thing. Like, it's just the music never suffered from it. You know, like I feel like the music kind of suffering from it nowadays.
You ain't
know?
like WAP, dude?
It was cool, bro, but it was, it felt. It
Yeah,
didn't
but
feel-
nobody's
it-
supporting that.
That's what I mean by
Nobody's
late. Nah, it had a lot of support actually.
What?
WAP.
A lot of bots.
I mean, a lot of people
Of
did like the song.
course.
I wasn't the biggest fan of the
It's a
song.
that
popular
song
song.
was,
But it wasn't-
that song was lit.
That's what I meant by Lady S. That song that it wasn't Lady S. It just was so. It was just so.
What's
vulgar.
Lady S?
Right. You,
Yeah,
you
that's-
were
that's
trying to
what you
get us
losing me.
cooked,
How
bro.
am I
That's what you're losing me.
It wasn't.
Walter.
It wasn't like.
What's Lady S?
Yo,
right,
wait,
let me try to
hold on.
explain it.
Matter
It
of
wasn't-
fact,
It wasn't.
Like, who is this guy? Where'd he come from? And why do we fucking keep acting like he's somebody that we need to fuck with? Get rid
Because
of
you have
this
to,
guy.
nigga. Because you have to.
Let's move on.
yeah,
I think,
please.
I think a good point ultimately is that not even to compare her to just other women rappers, but you know, men do get the opportunity. We spoke, you know, amongst each other about Andre 3000, about Kendrick. Men do get the grace to have a conventional personality and
Right.
still be thrown
Right.
to the masses.
Women get placed
still
in
be-
boxes.
Exactly, and like we expect that out of them, and that's what it's kind of fucked up. You know what I mean? So,
You're right. It's more. I'm speaking more as the way it's done.
I don't
as-
know. So you got a question?
Yeah.
You got us cooked already tonight. All right.
So we was at the listening party for La Madrina the other night. And like you said, there was a lot of different. Huh?
So you rolled that off very nicely.
Yeah. That was well said.
I mean, I am who I
loved it.
am. I'm waving my flag.
Espanol.
But yeah, so like, and as you said, like you explained it very well earlier, where like a lot of people were coming at you like, "Yo, we haven't heard from you," and then you were like, "Well, let me see what I can grab from in terms of sonic inspiration." Right?
Yeah.
So I heard there was some drill stuff, some trappy stuff, a little boom bap in there. You rapped over a Nas beat.
Shout out to
there-
my
I
guys.
was
Shout out to my
surprised.
guys because they
Yeah.
forced that on me.
Little
Shout out
singing
to
in there
them.
too.
she got a
record,
sin in her crew.
Nah, jack of all trades. That's what's up. But is there
She
some
showed
way-
that range.
It improved the tape.
It,
It added.
I'm
it made,
crying.
it made the tape even more fire.
No,
It-
for sure. I mean, I agree. I mean, I like you'd be surprised with my playlist. Like, I
Yeah,
would
so
listen to
many different
Nas, and
vibes.
then I'll go and listen to Sade, then I'll listen to Dreamland, and then I'll listen to. I'm all over the place. Lil
Same
Wayne,
respect,
and then
yeah.
Lil Boosie, and I'm in my bag, and then
Hey.
I might listen to Adele, or it's just like I'm very. You know
Rounded.
what I mean?
That's the
dope.
only Boosie
Amy
reference I can-
Winehouse in the mirror getting ready before I go to a strip club or something. Like, really, sis, is something wrong with
Aye.
this? I'm like, that's just how I'm feeling.
Shout out to
Back
the bartenders
back.
at the listening party, by the way.
That's a fact.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to the bartenders.
Yes.
Yes.
But what I was gonna
talent.
ask.
Not somebody screaming. You said talent.
Teeny is gonna get us
Ah.
fried, bro.
Oh, that's talent. That's talent.
talent.
But Megan Thee Stallion's not talent.
Visual talent.
But Latto's not
I love
talent.
it.
Since
I love
ask your question,
As
Oh,
bro.
God.
Gatto's a dope MC.
Oh. What?
Help.
Come on, bro.
You said talent.
Is she a dope MC? Yes or no? Is she a dope MC?
I think she's a dope talent. What's
Walter,
Anyway.
it was nice knowing you. We won't be
think
recording.
I'm not
after
a
this
big Lotto fan, bro.
episode.
I'm not.
All right.
Personally.
Can you ask your question, Sid?
Have
Yes.
you seen her live?
Oh, God.
No, I haven't. I haven't.
Okay.
She's
You
better
gotta-
live.
You gotta.
Some artists are better live.
Nah, it's not that. It's just it's bigger than that. You get what I'm saying? Like she's an entertainer. You know what I mean? For her market and for her demographic, she's doing it to the best of her ability, and people love it. People relate. So that's an art in itself. You get what I'm saying?
And there's a
respectable.
difference between
Applause.
a lyricist and sometimes
Of course.
entertaining an
And
artist.
it's
you
what
know
you,
what I mean?
yeah, it's like
Not-
what you guys said. Put it in a box. Like
Right.
they're in a
There's
box because
lyricists-
that's what they do.
And then there's
Exactly.
rap entertainment.
Exactly.
Rap
Definitely,
entertainment.
definitely.
My
Some
question.
have both.
Right.
Yes.
Boom.
That's when you're the total package.
Exactly.
I almost forgot my question at this point.
Genie is really trying to get us canceled
Yo,
tonight. Like,
but,
I'm
um,
convinced.
My question was: Is there somewhere specifically where your heart lies? Sonically.
That's a good question. I would have to say my heart lies when I'm kind of like melting on beats. You know,
Okay.
when I'm emotional and it just like the borderlines, you know what I mean? Like the one more shot where it's just like, it's kind of orgasmic with some witty punchlines, but it's not overbearing, you know? Okay, I'm a girl, I can relate, I feel sexy to it, but I'm a guy. Damn, did she just really say that? And I'm a guy and I feel like that? Okay, cool. So I kind of like, I live there the best.
That's what's up.
That is fire. I like that. I like that. You know, and again, as a person who's familiar with your music, I've heard you be able to toe that line between being sexy and saying some shit that a guy might relate to.
I don't think too many can pull that off.
Boom. So my question to you would be in this space is, how did you get here? We talked about the present. As an artist, Poiison, how did you become Poiison? Where did that start from? How did you decide that I want to get into music?
Okay, so
your origin story, basically.
Yeah, so basically, typical, grew up in church, you know, mom's a minister, my sister's a professional drummer.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, I grew up in a crib where the basement is like, we got the drum set, the bass, the guitar, you know. I grew up in a musical home. So that was instilled in me from young. And then as I'm growing, I'm developing feelings. As a teenager, I'm listening to music. I'm listening to Lil Wayne. I'm listening to sounds and things that, and then I become like a little older teenager, and I'm just like kind of like chasing the bag. I'm addicted to the bread. I'm getting a lot of money, like, you know what I mean? But I wasn't happy.
Okay.
So I had to find how to make myself happy. And I ended up at a studio with one of my friends, Junior I, shout out to Junior I. And we did a song, and he was just like, talk about how you feel, you know what I mean? And I was like, pills for the pain on a sunny day. You know what I mean? Because that's how I felt. Shit was lit, money was good, but I'm popping these pills, and I'm like, I don't know what love is. It just fades away. White lines in the nighttime make me feel all right. And then I was like, damn, this makes me feel...
My favorite songs. How you know that?
Yeah, this makes me feel better, you know? And ever since then, I was like, shit, I love this. You know what I mean? So Poiison came from, this is so real and so cheesy, Batman, Poison Ivy.
Ivy, okay.
Wow.
I just fell in love with her character.
Right.
You know, like she was like sexy, seductive, but dangerous. You know what I mean? And as time progressed, that's, you know, her and I became one.
You know, I don't want to dominate the interview. I know the homie Mace might have some questions. I'm sorry, Mace, if I jumped the gun a little bit.
No worries, dog. No worries. Nah, I'm just, you know, because I guess I'm the least familiar with you in person. You know what I mean? So I'm coming to it like how our viewers are coming to it. You know what I mean? And
that's the fun part.
Right. And like listening to your music is super unique. Your style's unique. Even listening to your voice now, you're super unique. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at it like, in the land of, we just spoke about shit getting put in a box, things being so uniform. Are you a naturally unique person, or is it something that you see the landscape, you see how things are going, and you decide, nah, I'm going left with it?
That's a good question, because my fight was being myself. Sometimes it's too different. I have to figure out how to kind of like center it a little bit. Because when you're too unique, then it's like, she's too weird, or she's too... Until, you know, you have a budget where now you're on Afro-punk and like being weird is all... But, you know, from an urban perspective, from where we come from, you know, organically and naturally doing this, sometimes being too unique is not a good thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, honestly, I'm just being myself, and I'm just polishing pieces of myself and things that I'm learning as I'm growing, as I'm evolving, as I'm traveling and seeing different shit, having different experiences, meeting different geniuses who do different dope things, and just putting it out there. Like, I see a lot of dope, different people that have gotten their chance. So I just feel like it's a good season for people like us.
Yeah, that's dope.
I was gonna ask what motivates you, but that was a pretty good explanation of motivation.
I think it's dope that you're willing to be a sponge. I've come across a lot of artists who are, for lack of a better phrase, like they're stuck in their ways.
Oh no, if not, then the project would have never, you know, came out the way that. If I want to be the best, how the fuck I'm not gonna listen?
Right. Shit.
Fact.
You'd be surprised at the amount of people who don't listen.
I'm
bro.
gonna be honest with you. I read a lot. I've been around. I mean, if you follow me, you see the kind of people I've been around. Like, all you can do is really just listen. Feel me? Like, if you're a visual artist and I'm a co-director, and you have these accolades, I'm gonna listen because I have to learn. I have to learn how to be a teacher, but I have to learn how to be a student, and that's the only way that you're gonna be the greatest. Like, and I want to be the greatest.
So you're willing to be number 2 for the sake of winning the championship, basically. You
I
don't
told
care about being a star. As long as it means winning, you're okay with that.
Number 2, when I heard number 2, I just thought about Missy Elliott Rock Hall of Fame. I feel like I'm gonna be number 2.
Shit, there we go.
And I'm okay with that. You feel me?
There you go. So when we were at the listening party, let's say in the minutes before I got there, you couldn't tell me you were from Brooklyn. I heard a lot of Queens.
Yeah, I had to clear that up, man. Y'all been driving me crazy with that, man.
Okay.
Please get the money.
So Queens, because I know there was a show you had and you were selling tickets, and I came and I copped the tickets from you, and you couldn't tell me you was in Brooklyn. You are a Queens at Queens.
Well, you
get
know
the
what
money.
Brooklyn said.
Queens.
Brooklyn, yeah, I'm heavy. Queens said Brooklyn said I'm good, but I'm not from Brooklyn. Like I love y'all, and apparently I'm Brooklyn by association.
I mean,
What part of Queens you from?
I'm from Ozone Park.
Say that.
And that's
okay.
the thing, like how you said, like, how do you decide that you're just gonna be yourself? I say, you know what? I ain't from Brooklyn. I'm from Ozone Park, Queens.
Ozone
Right.
Park.
So you know what? I'm gonna tell motherfuckers I'm from Ozone Park, Queens, and I might be the only motherfucker that come up and get lit from Ozone Park,
You
Queens.
know,
It's okay.
Now that you say it, there's nobody from Ozone.
I'm trying to think.
Southside,
Right.
Jamaica, Queens
Come on,
Bridge,
man.
Left rack.
Left Rack,
I'm trying to
who,
think.
Far Rock. Well, who's from Ozone?
I'm trying to think anybody that shouted out Ozone
Hollis.
Park on a record. Like,
Nobody.
That's crazy. No.
Nobody.
She the first.
That's me though. I
That's
said,
you. You the
you go,
first.
you go,
Okay.
and you gonna hear some witty shit. Like, damn,
Hell
she
yeah.
really, damn, she making Ozone Park sound lit. Shit,
So
I'm-
now the
Yeah.
next rapper from Ozone Park, y'all know who y'all owe it to.
Yeah,
Because
She
she
the
was
next
jacking it
one.
first.
It's Poison.
he
was jacking
manifested
it
me
first.
already over there. That's
Talk
what he
about
said.
it.
So I
Talk about it.
Exactly.
All right, so boom. I got a question for you, and it's for the table as far as the topical aspect of the podcast.
Shits don't got no questions. On
Yeah, I mean,
them.
So-
like, we about to
we
That's
saw.
an idea, though.
I think what's his name?
get some publishing, man. Make sure
There
you
we
send
go.
me my
Yeah,
publishing.
come on, no doubt.
We like that.
Make sure you send my
She's
publishing.
a real one, y'all.
Bootleg Kev talked about classic albums and if like classic albums matter anymore. So before I get the perspective of my brothers, I'd ask Poiison, as a fan, as an artist, in 2023, as we like to call it at the pod, the playlist era, how important do you think classic bodies of work, classic albums are for the space?
Damn. That's a good question because in all reality, it just depends on the market and the sound. Some people really just want to hear projects and see EPs as their stories. You get what I'm saying? Like, the problem is that sometimes we get just stuck thinking about what's around us. The fact that Brooklyn people don't want to hear projects, you know what I mean? Or the fact that Harlem people just want to hear this. Like, there's a big ass world, you know? Somebody in Amsterdam that would rather get to know an artist and listen to them from 1 to 8. You know what I mean? So I think everything is important. It just depends where you're going.
Oh, I like that answer a lot. I like how thoughtful you've been tonight. Like this, we've had some good interviews, but you've been very thoughtful with your responses, and that was a fly response. Deanie,
Appreciate that.
classic albums, 2023. How important are they?
As much as it hurts to say this, man, I don't think they are important as much as they used to be, man.
Expand.
Pause. Like we talk about it all the time on this pod, man. Like
Boy.
going home, you know, going to get the going to the record store, picking up the album, tearing off the plastic, reading the linear notes, you know what I'm saying, popping it in the Discman. Y'all probably don't know what a Discman is, some of y'all younger cats, but CD players, you know what I'm saying? And it was an experience, it was a vibe, and I don't think people need that the way we needed that when we were young. And they don't listen to full-length projects the way they did when we were young either. You know, we front to back shit, you know what I'm saying? Skits and all. Like, pause. But
Bro, the most sus segment of the year. Apparently.
Y'all crazy.
I'm already seeing the little segment. This is gonna be.
You know I'm chopping it.
I know
Everybody
you
kill
are. Then I'm taking the spot.
Hey,
Nah,
yo.
Sid is Hall of Fame.
Oh,
You
shit.
know
I'm
what I
a
mean?
Hall of Fame.
But yeah, like you said, playlists. Like you know, my tagline has got a couple joints.
Got a couple
Yeah.
So
joints.
if an album it can have like 10 records, but if it got like 3 good joints, you like they'll just take the 3 joints, leave the 7, and they'll bump this. It's really the singles era.
But it's crazy to hear that, because when I'm looking at the project, it's like you would normally think that the most played or like the most popular would be the first couple of ones, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just to see that people are really listening through and it's really scattered also kind of proves it different. It just depends who it is. It depends on the character, it depends on the artist, it depends on the person.
Facts.
Right.
Because I feel blessed that people really just, you know what, let me listen. You know, you've been giving me singles. Let me just listen to this project. So I don't know, you know, I think
But
it's
you're a little
halfway.
different though. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was listening to your shit, I was on a little journey. You know what I'm saying? Like Job said, we started off on some hard rap shit, then we got on some super vibey joints, and then it got on some pop joints, and I was like this is taking me somewhere. And most albums aren't like that anymore. They kind of like drop you off someplace, and you kind of got to fend for yourself.
Yeah.
Like it was nice to hear some.
Nah, that's true.
Like a breath of fresh air. You did.
I appreciate that.
No
I
doubt,
like
no
hearing
doubt.
that. I've been hearing that lately, you know.
That's dope.
That's what I was telling you. Like when I heard it and I heard you going with the beat jacket at the top, I'm like, I didn't walk in expecting that. Then it was like, all right, maybe it's one track. Then there was a few tracks. Like, oh shit, she rapping? Is she rapping again?
When she jumped on the Quincy
But-
and Mike though.
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
I like how like she halved it. Like it was like the second half of the project. Now I'm gonna give you some vibey shit.
Loved it.
Then I'm gonna close it out. We gonna mellow it out. You know what I mean? I see you, Poison.
I'm crying.
All right. Bass.
That was the intent.
I see intentional, as you mentioned earlier in the podcast. But Mace, you know, the young people,
Yes, sir.
playlist era, classic albums. Do they matter anymore?
Do they matter anymore? Do they matter anymore? I don't. It's like that's a weird question, right? Because I think the culture overall is different, right? When we talk about the 90s, we're talking about the Source magazine, you know what I mean? We're talking about 5 mics. We talking about, you know, artists that we're trying to, like, you know, KRS wanted to outdo Paid in Full. You know what I mean? Biggie wanted to outdo Illmatic. That was the culture. And I don't feel like that's necessarily the culture now. But I will say this, is that it seems like a classic album isn't important until you hear a classic album, right? Because how else is... I feel like making classic albums is like Kendrick's whole lore. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say Kendrick is the best bar for bar rapper or the best punchline guy, or, you know, you always talk about Andre 3K. We can't really name that many Kendrick verses, but we all know that when he throws out a body of work that's crazy, and I'm not trying to shit on him, I'll save that for later.
Yeah, I still got that in my back pocket.
Man, but I'm just saying the fact
pull
that
it
he
out when
puts
it's right.
out a great body of work, that's his whole claim to fame. You know what I mean? So I don't think that artists are, you know, spending their whole album budget and sitting, you know, in the studio saying I'm gonna make a classic anymore, partially because, you know, you can decide, oh, I'm gonna throw out a joint this week, I'm gonna throw out a joint next month. You know what I mean? It's not your 30 best joints that you've been creating for the last 4 years that you decide to whittle down to 12 and make a classic. It's a different era. It's a different, you know, there's artists
It's
that
a trap. Like,
Right.
motherfuckers is trapping music.
Yes.
But
Exactly.
niggas,
Like, damn, I know I can make a quick meal. Let me.
But don't you want a definitive, like, that project that people just, that was that one right
I
there.
don't think it matters to a certain demographic of artists. I don't think
It
that
depends on the artist if
acclaim.
they have a
Right.
passion
It depends
for
on the artist, but I don't think the acclaim matters to them as much anymore. To the you know, I guess the younger generation.
That was a big part of the culture, though, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the culture that we came up in, though.
Said the
Like
standards. You know what I'm
the
saying?
standards, absolutely. And to me, a classic album is always gonna like be the highest esteem. Like that's why I love Kendrick so much. You know what I mean? But when you look at like the era that we came up in, like these were eras where an artist, a rapper, would get signed, and there was an A&R whose job it was to not only find the talent but also direct the talent. Right? There was
Absolutely.
executive producers. There was, you know, the Steve Stouts and the Puffies and all that. Like, who is that today? That doesn't even really exist anymore.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And then, you know what I mean? And then like the label, you know, you would create a bunch of joints. The label would tell you, oh, you got to have a single because the single has to drive the sales. You know what I mean? Nobody knew what the rest of your album sounded like. They could only go by the 1 or 2 singles that you put out and maybe a B-side. You know what I mean? But today in the streaming era, like what's really a single? What's a single? You know what I mean? There's no singles. What a lot of artists will do is, you know, they'll put the project out and be like, it's almost like crowdsourcing. You know what I mean? You put the project out and you let the audience decide. All right, y'all fuck with me. Y'all are my fans.
Yep.
Y'all tell me what y'all fucking with, what y'all not fucking with. And then in the next project, then I'll go, you know, I'll go more in that direction or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like there's not that pressure to create that classic because it's just a different era. The creative process is different. The dynamics are different. You know what I mean? A lot of people are on the DIY, do it yourself shit. Right. You know what I mean? You don't have the label. You don't have the executive producer. You don't have the A&Rs. So the only way they can find out what direction they should go in and, you know, and listen is by listening to, you know, the fans and what they're fucking with. Right. So
yeah, that was a flat comment, Sam. Like you really broke it down. I didn't even think about the A&R and the executive producer angle of it. For me, I was thinking about like the generational divide. Like myself, Sin, Dini, Mace to a certain degree, Poiison to a certain degree. We came up when people gave a fuck about classic albums.
Facts.
But as a clear example, you look at what Drake did with 21. That was strictly a playlist album.
Facts.
It was about making sure shit hit and continued to hit. Back, look at the first song. Was it Rich Flex?
Rich Flex, yeah.
That's not an intro, bro.
Nah.
That's a tone setter. Back in our day, you got an intro.
Right.
And you built up, like usually, like, say now, like if Poiison was an artist 15 years ago, your lead single might have been like maybe track 3 or track 4 on your album. You got the intro, you got a couple of decent joints, and you built to that single, right? Now is, let me give you Rich Flex right here. You know what I'm saying? And let me get you in that right frame of mind. If you're of a certain age, yeah, a classic album matters anymore. To me, the standards of what classic is changed. To me, like, if you ask a 25-year-old nigga, 20-year-old nigga right now what they think about Her Loss, I'm gonna stay with Her Loss. They'll tell you it's a classic. Because in 15 years from now, 21, can you do something for me? That's gonna ring the fuck off. That's gonna make them feel something. Right. You know what I'm saying? And part of what we decide what a classic album is how that music makes you feel. To me, like, the younger era looks at what Drake does. Am I both my jobs, current and previous? I've had debates where niggas are telling me Drake got mad classic albums. But then I'll look at them and be like, I don't think Drake has a classic album, but what are the standards? Right. If you look at the singles, you look at what Drake was doing at his peak. If you're like 30 and under, Drake got classics. 30 and up, it's a little shaky.
Yeah.
So I don't know if classic albums matter anymore. And I know some people in the chat, they're going to feel a way about it.
Yeah, let us know what y'all think.
But I don't think it matters anymore. I think it's about if you can make music that sticks. Right. Because there's so much music out here.
That's the thing.
It's so many rappers out here.
So much microwave.
Everybody has access to Apple Music. Anybody can put a song out there and say, download that shit on Spotify.
SoundCloud.
Right.
It's about who stands out, in my opinion. Not even classic no more. Who can stand out with all this noise out here? So that's how I'm looking at that shit.
And ultimately, it's about, we got to give the generation their right to dictate what a classic is. Because if you ask like a OG, like a Curtis Blow type hip hop fan,
don't ask them.
They don't even think
them,
that
bro.
Illmatic is a classic. You know what I mean? They'll be like, that 90s shit was not from the heart. You know what I mean? So it's like, you really got to listen to
They
old heads are different, bro.
They're just wrong.
You know what I mean?
Curtis Blow.
They're just wrong.
You dead ass?
Hip hop. You know
You could have gone LL Cool.
Nah, but like,
do the same thing with sports.
yeah, you
old
know,
heads is the
the niggas from the
Grandmaster
80s don't
Caz
think
and
nothing
all
is
that.
hip hop besides whatever they was doing in the 80s. So you can't even really, you know what I mean? But we got another topic to get into. Like, Sin, get that list ready. You threw that shit in the chat about the Billboard whatever. You know what I mean? In the meantime, Poison, I got a question. As an artist, as a fan, what do you think about Andre 3000?
You gonna bring her into
I'm
this?
here,
Yeah,
Walter
we are.
laughing. I'm here, Sin, react.
I just want to hear what she said.
Bro,
Right,
well,
I want to
listen,
hear it.
Hold on,
This
hold
is
on.
a good question.
As an artist, not as a
Don't feel
fan.
no pressure.
Artistically,
Don't feel no pressure.
Get it-
what do you think of Andre
Your thoughts
3000?
together, but I just want to say one of these
Don't
days.
say nothing,
No,
Sin.
no, no. One of these
No,
days,
no,
we're gonna record the pre-show and the post-show and put that shit out there as bonus footage.
right.
Because
I wish
Yeah,
Walter
that's where
recorded what I
this is
said
stemming
tonight.
from.
Happy.
I had bars tonight, bro. Go ahead,
Back to
Poison.
Poison.
I think he's definitely a legend.
Okay.
He's definitely dope. I like Andre 3000. I can't say that I listen to his projects and his tapes and stuff like that. No, I'm not saying by
Yo,
choice.
the
It's just
sin-
maybe
the
it's just the age difference. You get what I'm
the
saying?
level of
We had a little
sinister in that
conversation
laugh.
earlier. He's a big
I
Andre
feel like my
3000.
brother would
Oh
listen
my
to that.
God.
You know what I mean?
I feel you.
But I definitely, I hear him on like Kid Cudi's album,
Right.
and then some of those songs that I am familiar, like
Shit we did with Kanye.
Mhm.
yeah, like
Big song.
he's really dope. I've met him. Seemed like a cool guy. Like
Heavy on the
he's
artistic
with
vibe. Yeah.
he was dating Erykah Badu, so
Yeah.
something's got to be
He gets
special. You know what I mean?
Major
Shout out
plus
to
for that.
Stacks.
man. Major plus for that.
Go ahead, Sid. Get your feelings off, bro.
You know?
Yo, the way y'all throw around terms like they're derogatory, like heavy on the artistic
Heavy.
vibes.
Heavy on the pinky up vibes.
That's that coffee house shit.
Coffee house, right.
What
Yes.
is wrong
Yo.
with those vibes? That's what I
Yes.
want to know. What's wrong with those
You
vibes?
tell us,
wrong with
Hip
nigga.
hop ain't in the
I
coffee
got
house,
nothing
bro.
wrong with those vibes, so
You-
I can't tell you.
All I know is I came to the studio tonight and I walked into a conversation and it was a great conversation. And then I just decided that I was gonna attack Sin for 15 minutes.
Yeah,
It's
the way you
just-
usually do.
And Sin stopped talking. You know, he didn't say anything. You know, he tried to play a song that nobody fucked with. You know what I mean?
Didn't know the name of the shit. So you remember that drink with this nigga?
Nah, we did it.
Bro,
So-
you see the gray hairs, man. My memory is.
Sid didn't
it's
even know the name of the
faltering
joint
At all,
himself.
bro.
So Sin,
It's
put your
faded.
cape
It was the
on.
joint with Lord.
Tell us
Listen.
what Billboard and Vibe is doing, and then put your cape
All
on.
right,
for 3
so we don't have the full list right now. Well, not in front of me, I mean.
Right.
And the top 10 has not been revealed yet, but the latest revelation out of their top 50 greatest rappers of all time list, Billboard and Vibe in collabing, is their 11 to 20 slots, right? And they've been putting them out incrementally, 10 at a time, right? And so the latest one, this was already problematic. All these lists got to get the fuck out of here. But
Nah, but they'll say that about our list.
no, except for
Our
ours.
list
Our
is
shit
on-
is
our
lit.
list is real
Our shit
shit.
is on
Not
point. But they just put out their 11 to 20, and I'm looking at 11 through 15 at the most.
I want to see that.
And holy fuck, I'm having an aneurysm because they got Cole at 15, LL Cool J at 14,
Okay.
Rakim at 13,
That's it.
3K at 12,
Mm.
and then, mind you, this is a rapper's list of all time. Kanye West at number 11. I'll say that again. Kanye West at number 11, ahead of 3 Stacks, ahead of the God Rakim, ahead of LL Cool J. That's
Why is that?
That's
Why do you
preposterous.
think?
Well, great question,
first of
Poison.
all, because and look, everybody here and the audience out there knows I'm a huge Kanye fan. I love Kanye. When he did all the fuckery that he's doing now, like that shit, like really hurt my heart. Like I had to really
Several times.
yeah, like I had to struggle with that shit. But,
Publicly.
right on this table, y'all heard the pain in my heart. So I love Kanye, but Kanye is a producer first. I put Kanye in that same category with Dr. Dre. Producer first, rapper second. And they produce amazing projects. They produced for other artists and created other artists, right? So Dre has Snoop, Kanye has Lupe under his belt, John Legend, Kid Cudi, a whole slew of artists, right? But his lane was always the production aspect of it first, and the bars that came from those projects from himself, there's a lot of, allegations
understand.
that he didn't write them shits himself. And a lot of people will ask me, like, yo, how come you give Kanye a pass for having ghostwriters and not somebody else? Like, I'm Drake. But, and I always tell them, the same way that Dr. Dre didn't write his own bars, but he was a producer and he created amazing albums, that's the same way I think about Kanye, right? But to have this be a 50 greatest rappers of all time, right? Not artists, not producer / rap, but rappers of all time. To put Kanye ahead of the God Rakim,
I think you're right.
that's crazy.
I think you're right.
That's preposterous.
And you don't think
I think your
3 stacks
feelings are-
above the God Rakim ain't crazy?
I'm sorry, say what?
You don't think 3 stacks above the God Rakim ain't crazy?
That's, you know what? That's also crazy.
Oh,
That's also crazy.
okay.
Honest,
Balance.
honesty is real here. I love it.
You tried to ambush him, man.
I
You was
did,
prepared
I
for
did.
that
Try
shit.
to catch me out there, man.
did.
Fuck
I
out
like
of
that move, Dink.
Good move, Sin.
here. Yeah.
Dini, what do you think about this situation?
The whole
here?
list is blasphemy, bro. Like, granted, Kanye has had some assistance in his early works, which I don't think there was assistance for those in the like the first 3 joints. Those were some arguable classic albums, bro.
Okay.
I mean, it's the music. Kanye's music is almost timeless now at this point.
Damn, there goes my memory again. What the
College
fuck was it?
Dropout is retarded.
Yeah, but College Dropout.
Late Reg retarded. Graduation retarded. Retarded.
Fire. We don't say retarded at the
There it goes again.
Dini's
God
really
damn
gonna
it, man.
He's gonna get
That's
us out
a
of
lot
here.
of,
He's gonna get us out of here
edits right
tonight.
there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
Tonight,
to-
tonight is the last show of the Rap Round
He's
Table.
making my editing work after
Yo.
this so difficult.
Yo, boy.
I think,
Anyway,
I think
fire.
ultimately,
Thank you.
it's kind of disingenuous, and not because Sin is the producer god, so I'm not trying to step on his toes when it comes to comparing producers, but Dr. Dre made 2 albums, so he is more of a producer than a rapper. Kanye continuously dropped for damn near a decade, so we can kind of throw him into a rapper category a lot more than Dr. Dre, at least in my opinion. You know
Dre
what I
was
mean?
40 on the
Dre
list.
put out 2 albums 7 years apart. You know what I'm saying?
And he made 40
It
on the
wasn't
list,
really
bro.
giving you guest verses like that. You know, Kanye got American Boy. He got classic
true.
guest
That's
verses.
true.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
We look at him as a rapper
He's been
more
pretty
than
active as
And
a
some of the
rapper.
best,
Yeah.
some of the best Dre verses we know who wrote them. You know what I'm saying? Royce, Hove. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised if Shady penned something. We don't. Who's the ones that exactly pen those Kanye verses?
right. And this is a Billboard.
Rhymefest,
Ron,
Consequence.
thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was
This
thinking
is
of
a
Maybe even
Billboard.
Pusha,
I saw that
perhaps
in the
Pusha.
documentary.
Ronfest was said to have written Jesus Walks. So
Oh, wow.
that
Yeah,
was like
college dropout era is Consequence.
Ronfest.
Rhymefest. By the time he was getting into graduation, we talking Kid Cudi, Big Sean. We know the ghostwriters. You know, modern era is Saha. We know
Saha.
they've been
Saha,
ghostwriting
Pusha.
for him for years. We all know that. But the thing is, this is a Billboard vibe list. Billboard is record sales. Vibe is neo soul vibe since the
Vibes.
90s. We know this
Vibes.
shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Again,
it's like
that's not a derogatory
That's a
term.
good
Don't
point,
don't talk
what you
don't
said.
talk about it like that.
You know what I mean? And
It's
so
a
they are.
Billboard is a record sales is rapper as in whole to what the community thinks a
Exactly.
rapper
Not
is.
just the
It's
bars.
not us in Brooklyn who's hard and who
Who
got,
got the
bars.
bars.
It's more so rapper.
Talent
Exactly.
around the
You know,
board.
Heavy
So,
on the air quotes.
You know what? Then you're right.
You know, you look at it like that.
Because when
know
you think
what I mean?
about them verses and he got some good verses. He's a
Memorable,
rapper. Yeah,
right?
memorable verses. He's
Classic verses that
he
niggas
sold it.
remember.
Exactly.
It's true.
And so they're just gonna analyze it from a different area than we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course,
It becomes a number, a popularity, what they've been witnessing throughout the years, the videos, it becomes
Facts.
What they brought to the
Amalgamation
table.
of
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. Let me see this list. Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me
It's
see.
like watching Atlanta, like the show Atlanta, like rapper,
that
like
show.
what they would mean
Rapper.
when they say rapper, like you're a rapper, right?
But John called it number 12 on the list with no solo.
Hey, look. So
That's wild.
So-
ain't gonna let this live.
I'm
he's not
not.
gonna let it live. I mean, Kanye shouldn't be top 20. He got some fire verses, classic verses, but if
I
it,
agree.
I guess Poison and Mace, I see where y'all coming from.
No, I agree. Then that shouldn't be top 20.
If we talk about rapper, Kanye belongs there. He has memorable verses.
But that's what they're talking about.
There you go.
That's what that list, like I said, it's like
That's
an
what it
Atlanta
He
episode.
sold records. He got classic albums. It's a popular name. I get it. Based on their criteria, the issue that I have with this list is Andre 3000. He has no classic solo albums. He's sold 0 units as a solo act. If
Yeah, but if you really think
Dunkin'
about it,
Donuts,
for some,
nigga.
if you really think about it, for some reason,
to
Andre
him.
3000
Talk to
still
him.
has that look, like
That aura,
rapper.
right?
Yeah.
You know,
Cultural
He's-
significance.
He's
So-
outcast.
Talk
he's
to him,
pop,
Poison.
he's
you know what's funny?
Talk to
with-
him, Poison.
You know,
Thank you.
he has a baby with Erica
There you
Badu.
go. Shout out.
Thank
He's
you.
a rapper.
So he has
$50 for the first nigga to give me a
Name
verse.
you
So
have to
all, he
put
has
in.
all of these things, which and then it's the blonde wig with
the
the
brand.
green
It's
outfit.
the brand. It's his
It's
brand.
the brand.
It
It's not the
when you think
music.
about it, if when you pitch it, when you sell it, and you package it,
Boom.
he's a rapper. You know,
Right.
like
You know,
What's the most
Exactly.
iconic Dre 3000 bar? What is the iconic verse that you go, oh,
What's that, Lloyd?
leather
joint
in the
you're
summer,
playing?
you know
nigga.
what I'm saying? Like, what is it, bro? Like, give me some sugar. I am your neighbor. Like, that's what we. Like, come on,
You,
come on.
is it, you
Forever.
always,
That
you always
is a
reduce
memorable
everything
line, though.
when you need to make an argument. You always reduce everything to
Listen,
that. Like it's
I
the
feel
end
like-
all be.
Does
as-
that not matter, bro?
As time goes along, I feel
J.
more-
Cole's on this list at number 15.
Cole should be higher than 3 stacks.
Give me your favorite J. Cole verse.
Here he goes.
I mean,
False
or-
prophet.
He has a lot. He has a lot.
Like, Benny
iconic-
Butcher, this shit was
An,
crazy.
an
shit.
iconic J. Cole
Benny the
line.
Butcher. Benny the Butcher.
Recite it right now on the table.
Damn,
Wow.
damn.
Exactly.
The guy will not pray for me. I'm reciting this. I'm trying to remember the stick verse. No devil will pray for me. It's a walk with a stick. I don't remember off the top of the head. You're right.
No, why do
Right.
I-
So I need the
But I don't-
same energy for J. Cole
Do I
as you have
speak?
for
Do I
Andre.
speak on J. Cole the way you speak on 3 Stacks?
I just need the same energy,
Stop it, bro.
I
Stop.
need
You
the
never
same
heard me
energy.
speak on J. Cole the way
Same
you
energy.
said he's one of the top 10 greatest MCs, but you don't know a fucking verse.
I never said that.
You did. You said he's on the same level as Nas. You did. You
I
just
said-
said it 10.
If I had to guess since top 10, I would guess 3000 was in there.
Listen,
He's never told me,
Stop
but
it,
I
Sid.
guess.
We don't
I
need to
said-
hear from Sid.
I
He's
said
in the
when
10.
in terms of, and we had this discussion on the table some time ago,
right,
and
yeah.
I thought I made it clear at that point. But I said that in terms of lyricism,
He goes spelling it out.
Andre should be in the conversation, in the same conversation
Maybe
as
it's
that. I didn't
just
say
something we didn't
better or worse,
Should
but
not.
I said
We didn't hear.
you should be in the conversation. But it's as when it comes to like overall rankings of rappers, I said very clearly Andre should not be in there
I don't remember that.
because
I don't remember
I
that.
said I'm gonna pull it up.
You should.
I said he shouldn't be in there because he never had the solo album.
I
don't
I said
remember
that very
to it,
clearly.
right?
I don't remember that.
I don't remember it either, but
I don't remember
take
that.
your
Y'all
word
too
for it.
drunk.
Nah, maybe. You know, that's a fair assessment.
Possibility.
3 stacks, 12, over Cole with no solos. Where Big Boy at? Big Boy should be top 20.
Where's
and 3 stacks
Big
is
Boy?
top 20. In the 12, nigga.
Talk about it.
Where's Big Boy?
Where is Big Boy? We should investigate.
He gotta
where-
wear
Who's making this list?
Billboard and
Billboard
Vibe.
and Vibe.
But
And
who-
that and he
Some white guys somewhere.
Here's-
You know what I mean? I'm sorry, Walter. I'm sorry.
Here's my other issue with this, because I expect more from Vibe, and I feel like Billboard, because they saw the backlash against Rolling Stone, and I guess Rolling Stone doesn't give a fuck at this point. They're
They
just gonna
don't.
keep
They
out
don't.
putting the fucked up
That's
list.
a fact.
Fuck that.
But Billboard was like, nah, we don't want that type of energy, right? We don't want that smoke. So they tapped Vibe like the token, like, yo, can you just like come over here and
Come on
like,
here,
like
black publications.
right,
Help us
like
out.
stand right,
Save
stand
us.
right next to me.
Not black
So in case they start throwing tomatoes, they'll think twice. Like, nah, bro. Like I expect more out of Vibe, a little more
Right.
pushback than this.
All I know is I don't think Big Boy should have to wear a blonde wig and a green outfit to get noticed.
What are you
That's all I'm
talking
saying.
about?
That's all I'm saying, bro.
Hey,
What are you
video.
talking about?
I feel like
Oh, I'm crying.
3 stacks had to do a lot of things to get seen, and Big Boy just raps, and he doesn't get that same love, bro.
And it be like that sometimes.
The gap between Big Boy and 3 stacks ain't that far, bro. As rappers,
It's
no,
not.
It's not.
It's
According to
not.
most people.
I'll say that it's not as far as
He's not
they
even
will
on the
make
50,
it
bro.
seem.
It's like
At all?
Unless he's in the top 10. Which
He's
I
not in
doubt.
that 50.
He's not gonna.
Big
be in the
Boy's
top
never
10,
in
bro.
none of
They're
the
not gonna put Big Boy
conversations.
above
That's
on
what
it.
When he's
We
nicer
only
than
have
3
7
stacks.
through 15. You gotta. 'Cause that's the last thing that came out.
Nigga wants all the smoke, bro. This nigga wanted
Wait.
all the smoke.
What did he say?
Diddy caught that shit.
I missed it. What happened?
Don't want peace.
I said Big.
want
I think I said Big Boy
problems,
is just as nice as 3 stacks.
He don't believe that shit.
There's a
It ain't that.
there's a
It's
there's a
basically
separation there.
It's Pusha and Malice. It's
There's
3
a
stacks and Big
separation.
Boy.
Yeah,
it's,
so
it's a little
There's
gap. It
there's
ain't
a-
that big.
It's not huge. Pause.
right.
But there's a
Hey,
separation.
yo. So
Can't name either
last
bars.
topic before we get into some of our favorite segments, I'm gonna come to Poison. You know, whether R&B or hip hop, whatever the case may be. What do you think if you walking in the street, you're in the whip, you on a plane, well, however you move, a beat comes on. What do you think is the most recognizable beat in the culture? Like that shit come on, it takes you somewhere. You remember the first time you heard it, it's fire.
Well, and that question is like,
Question.
It's loaded, right?
That's a good one. Yeah.
it's too many of them. Like,
Mm.
Oh,
it's-
all right, so let's spin it. What about like you hear a beat? What's the first beat you think of? Like, all right, I need to just put out a freestyle. Boom, let's throw on this beat.
I gotta get on.
Like I gotta get these bars off my chest. Boom, let's throw on this beat. There's no wrong answers.
Facts.
Just how you feel.
That's a weird question to me. I don't
she
know. It's just
thinking
so,
about it.
yeah. It's too many.
It's too
beats.
many?
There's gotta be one that tugs at your soul though. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you hear it, like,
beat
Well,
that.
fellas, y'all throw some out. Give us some ideas. What's
I
y'all
might-
choice?
as soon as I hear that, that's survival of the fittest, bro.
That was a
Right.
terrible
Right.
rendition. That was
Yeah, I
really
was like,
bad.
what is he
I
talking
didn't know.
about?
What, what sound like the
I had no
computer
idea.
crash
What sound is
sound?
that?
Like what was that?
I thought it was Go Ahead by the Locks at first.
Fuck out of here. What instrument is that starts off? I think it's a piano.
It's like an organ. I
I feel
think
like
it's
Those are
it's,
the
it's,
games.
it's,
Those-
it's,
I
too
hate
many,
it.
it's too many beats. It's
That
too,
shit.
it's-
That's
Yo,
the
you
one
said
that talks to me.
the dollop tone. That shit
Oh,
really.
shit.
Yeah, I'm crying.
Yo,
The
Mace.
dollop modem. That shit gets me.
Oh,
gets me in
man.
the zone, bro.
I'm gonna take it because not to like just give you all y'all answers. I feel like most people are gonna have golden era answers. So for me, I'm gonna go something that I grew up on. I'm gonna go Grinding by the Clips.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
Produced
Seen
by the
that out there.
Neptunes.
Okay. Okay.
As soon as I hear that,
That's
get me
like
right.
a Dre beat, like a still Dre, or like
I felt like he was going
see.
to Wu-Tang range. I felt like
I feel like
Nah,
everybody gonna
Make's
go.
not
or like
Makes
Money,
not
Power,
our own
Respect. That's
Boom.
a fire beat.
Ooh,
See, now
there
she
you go.
moving on now.
Here we
All
go.
right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deanie, talk to me.
Verbal Intercourse is up there too. Like certain beats you hear, it just speaks to your soul.
Mm.
Another one could be Quiet Storm,
Ooh, that's a
Benjamin's type shit. You know, like shit
Mold,
that,
Dean.
shit
Just
that I
give me
hear.
one.
Certain beats you hear just speak to your soul. Like even if you're not a
Any
rapper,
Timberland
you almost
beat
want to
too,
freestyle
like,
to them shits. You know, like as soon as you hear them.
But in,
Any
ter- in, ter-
Timberland
but in
beat.
terms of like recognizability, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Like,
what,
like let's say you like somebody throws it on and like
First 2
before
seconds type
like
shit.
before the first bars, like half a bar in, and you're
What's
like,
the-
I'll probably
what's the-
go
if you
survival
feeling
of the
like
fittest.
a
I'm going
Survival
with
of the
that.
fittest?
With my bad
Brush your
rendition
shoulders
of the
off,
sound.
that beat is hard.
Oh, that's
Which one
Brush
you
your
said?
shoulders off, that beat crazy.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
very
off
it's
back.
very easy
Shout
to
to
once you
Timbo.
hear that sound, you know what it is.
Which one?
Brush your shoulders off.
Yeah, brush your
Dirt
shoulders
of
off.
your shoulder,
yeah.
That beat hard as soon as you hear that shit.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna go and then I'm gonna let Sin cook because he's the producer here. I got 2 options. The first one for me is usually that shit Ye did like back 2002. Guess Who's Bizarre. Like that beat right there is like I remember like first hearing that when I was in high school. I'm like, this shit right here is really stupid.
Yeah.
And Scarface got off, Hove got
Heavy.
off, Biz got off. In more recent times, you know what? Surprisingly, y'all gonna be tight, but like some of them drill beats, like like the grimish side of drill, like when
For
Pop
sure, for sure.
when Pop popped off, you had the outside beat. Like I thought that shit was so crazy. You know what I mean? Like I just like that sound because I could hear the inspiration as far as England goes. The shit had a nice little bounce. I could play it in the car. I could hear it in the party. So more modern times, that record right there Guess Who's Back. Like, there's a lot of beats. Poison made a good point. It's
it's
hard
a lot.
to.
You could just run down a list
choose.
all day. Like, got yourself a gun. That's a fire.
Christopher
That's
Walken is the name of the record.
It's just when you hear it,
Walken.
Got yourself
That's a
a
fire
like,
beat.
Great record.
It's
Shout out to
a
Pop.
a lot of good beats.
I think about DS2 and I think about Trap Niggas. Trap Niggas is one of the best trap beats to me ever made. Like that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
too-
huge.
Yeah, it's too
Niggas
many.
always go golden era with these beats, but to me, like where the South
Because
doesn't
that's
get-
what the questions sound like, though.
Nah.
Like,
it's just a
feel
beat.
me?
Because to
Start
me,
thinking
like
about a
So
school
you-
lunch or something.
Right, exactly.
To me, the
Grinding.
South-
You ask
Grinding
that
is the
question,
ultimate.
it's like,
School lunch classic.
you know, motherfucking Pop Smoke not gonna pop to my mind when I hear that. You know what I mean? It's just
because
Quick.
the thing is, the New York in us always wants to run back to the 90s, but like the South made a lot of fucking fire, bro.
They leaned on
Hey,
production.
Shout out Zaytoven, shout out Metro. Like them niggas got
Shout out DJ Toon.
It was cool.
Doing all the shit he did
You
with
said
T.I.
trap niggas fuck up some commas was one of my top 5 choices.
Heavy
Fuck
record.
up some
Fuck up some
commas.
comments is
That's
crazy.
crazy.
You know what I'm
DS2
saying?
is a classic. Bro.
So
I feel like if the beat can live on its own, like if you can listen to this beat without any artist on
Right.
it, then that's something.
Right.
If you could just have a
Right.
conversation behind the shit
Yeah,
like,
like-
like now. That's how I know this shit be
I don't
fire.
want to spoil a possible future segment, but because Poison brought it up, because you mentioned, you said this question sounds like it should be a golden era beat. But what is the golden era? What's the golden
For
era
you?
to you?
I think like 50 Cent.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Like 03?
Get Rich or Die
Like,
Trying is
yeah,
about
like
to
Get
make
Rich or Die. Like I
it's
shouldn't
crazy.
have been listening
old,
to that.
yo.
You
We
know,
on the
like
same
I would
page.
I would get
We
in
on the same
trouble
page.
for like listening to like The Naked Truth. Like I remember like my
Yeah.
brother had to get me like the clean version of it. Like
That's crazy.
you know what I mean?
That's ill.
Who else?
If
Maybe
golden
like
era is 50, I'm definitely old. I'm
like
just saying.
like Eminem. You know what I mean?
Bro.
Shout out to Shady.
Slim Shady.
You gotta be in the
like, you
same
know
age
what I mean?
bracket. Yeah, 'cause
So,
that's
yeah.
the shit. That's the shit that take me back. to.
03,
Yeah.
02, 03,
03, yeah.
02, 03.
I
That was a
shouldn't
great
have
year in
been
hip hop,
listening
though.
to
That was a good time. That
Say
was a
what you
good
want.
time.
50
Sure.
kicked the door fucking in, man.
You sure
Yeah,
did,
he did
man.
it well.
Get
He
Rich
did
or
it
Die
well.
Trying.
He did
Y'all
it well.
peep Sin trying to duck the fade though. Like he don't want to answer
What
the
you mean?
question. Like, what's the beat for you, nigga?
We waiting
Oh, the
for
most
your answers,
the
Sin.
most identifiable
One that
beat.
talks to
Yeah.
sincere
Listen,
rap snob.
I was gonna list a whole bunch of
Of course you
Honorable
over
mentions.
prepared as fuck.
Sin had
but
like 50
I didn't
beats.
I didn't
Since top
one
50.
for because of time, but also second, I didn't want to step on anybody else's possible picks. But since I went last, I'm gonna throw out some honorable mentions. The Shook ones.
Yes, sir.
There's Made You Look,
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
and I mean identifiable. Like as soon as
As soon as
the
it cuts
first-
on, bro.
the first note hits,
Carter,
and you're
the
like,
Carter 3.
oh, that's the
Carter
shit.
3. Classic plus.
Carter 3
okay.
classic.
Yeah, there's listen, I'm gonna say You Don't Know by Jay, because that's one of my favorite beats that Just Blaze
about
ever
to say
made and that
Alicia
Jay
Keys.
Fire.
ever rapped on. There's a lot of them, man. There's a lot of Jay Dilla beats
Yes.
too. It's Dilla month.
Benjamins
Right,
could go up there too.
right.
Benjis.
And the Benjamins, yeah. But my ultimate pick, I'm gonna have to go with Still Dre.
Oh.
I just said that earlier.
You
She
just
did.
and you
She
just
did.
said that.
Yeah, shout out to
So
Storage
DRE is-
Mariano's,
that
I
man.
forgot about Dre. Those beats, those is what is that?
Them
The
shits
keys?
used to talk to
Yeah,
your
the keys.
heart when
Scott
them shits
Storch,
came on.
Scott Storch on the keys.
Shit hit
They
different.
just slap different.
Even though we did him a little dirty because we pulled him off our producer list, but
It was a heavy list.
it was a heavy list, and we had to make some edits and whatever. But
Shout out to
some
Storch,
alterations.
man.
But as soon as those keys hit, those chords, the first note,
Nothing like it.
It really isn't.
the
That shit's
first
different.
note. You don't even gotta hear nothing else. You already know what it is. You know what I mean? The drums haven't come in, the bass hasn't come in, no other instrument. The first note, you already know what it is, and your mind will already
But that's like a
autocomplete the rest.
Timbaland beat too, though.
Great
Like,
You know what I
Freestyle
mean?
beat.
You know,
Great
like how
freestyle.
Google will autocomplete. You know what I mean? As soon as you like
that's like a
type in the
Timbo
first
beat
letter,
too,
when
though.
you hear that first note,
Second
your
in,
brain
you
just
hear that
autocompletes
That's
everything
a
else.
fact, son.
It's crazy. Still DRE is probably
Yeah, that
to
shit
me
go
the most
crazy.
identifiable beat. I'm not saying
So
don't misquote me out there. I'm not saying it's the best beat of all time.
So
I'm not
Sin
saying my favorite.
stayed in the 20
But-
to 30-year-old beat range. It hasn't
1999, man.
99.
20 to 30. 1999 was 24 years ago, nigga.
That's crazy.
Nah, that was like the other day, bro.
Yeah, word.
Yo,
Word.
That's like the
All
other
right.
day.
So we in the stretch run of the pod. We got my personal favorite segment. It's the mailbag where we respond to comments, emails, etc. from our fans. So
The light, that's another one. Shouts to Big One.
right.
Comment
So I thought about this one because I was like, I read it and I'm like, yeah, Sin's gonna be tight, so that's good for business.
good enough, right?
So Kwame Chikuyu says, I was playing Kendrick in the car this week, and I must say his albums didn't age well for me. It had me thinking, was it that rap was such garbage at the time that made me fall in love with Section 80, To Pimp a Butterfly, and Good Kid, Mad City? Was it good for that era? And I laughed hard as fuck when I read this shit because I remember saying on the podcast that part of Kendrick's allure at the time was the fact that the rapping was so bad that a nigga like Kendrick could elevate in a mediocre era.
He did say
and then
that.
this nigga Kwame Chikuyu comes in and is like, is this me? Did I write this?
That's your
Because
burner? No.
Chikwi.
is it a doppelganger out here?
we said in the 90s he'd be a regular
Yo,
guy.
my nigga, when I read this shit, I laughed
but
till
why
I
his
cried,
name
bro.
Why his name sound like the mispronunciation of Talib Kweli and the Blacks?
Nah,
Wow.
his last name is Chikuyu.
Say it phonetically.
And I
Not
fucked
just let
with
it
it.
be like Nina
That's a
Simone.
hip hop Easter egg right there, boy.
Nigga, but more importantly, Kwame feels the same way I feel about a lot of Kendrick's early work, that it gets
That's cool.
overrated based on the climate. So
That's
before I ask Sin what he thinks, because I already know what he thinks, I'm gonna ask Deanie, what do you think about
No.
the mailbag saying that shit? Kendrick is overrated.
The first album still hits great for me. But if he
Same.
wants to say that with the Pimp a Butterfly, I'm all here for it.
Okay.
I love Damn, and I really don't care for Mr. Mid and Mid Steppers too much.
Yikes.
But as far as those two albums, Damn and Good Kid, I'll disagree with him on that. Everything else, I'm lockstep with you, my good brother.
Hold on, Sin.
everything
Hold on,
else,
Sin.
50-50. Okay, got it.
Deanie,
AC
Oh, you mean nah. Kwame,
Hello.
the liquor
it got me.
ensues.
Kwame's bugging, man. If there's anybody from that era whose shit did age well, I say it's Kendrick. Now that Forest Hills Drive, that fucking Born Sinner, y'all can never play that shit again, man. All right, that shit out of here. Man.
Wow, bro. That's
J.
crazy.
Cole shot.
Yeah, so get your
Yo,
feelings
the,
on.
the,
I had
J.
to.
Cole, he always gotta throw in some J. Cole slander. One way or
Deanie
another.
slanders Kendrick, I slander Cole.
That's what we do here.
That's what we do, man.
Yeah, he's bugging. He's bugging. If it, like May said, if anybody has aged beautifully, it's Kendrick. You know what I mean? Like it I feel like Kendrick is the epitome of
talking about?
an artist who one still cares about.
The fuck are you talking about?
I'm gonna tell you what I'm talking about. One still cares about albums, right? Still cares about bodies of work. Still cares about creating a narrative. You know, an
Get
art,
rid of this guy.
an art from the intro to the outro, from the first track to the last track. There's a narrative arc. There's a climax pause. There's you know what I mean? Like there's an arc there. And yeah, like all his albums have that. The only one that I think doesn't have as strong of a narrative arc is Damn. I think Damn was more of an album that was all right, let me make some singles. Let me link up with Rihanna. Let me get Mike Will Made
good
It.
music.
Let me
That's
get
what I like.
let me get Mike Will
Thank
Made
you.
It on
Thank
the
you,
beat.
Poison.
You know what I mean? But as far as the other albums, there's this narrative arc there that's like undeniable.
Right.
And like he's bugging. Like his albums are phenomenal.
He's bugging. Hey, look, I don't got too much to say. Shout out to Kwame Chikuyu. Great point. Clearly, you watched the show. You heard us say it.
Your fingers on the pulse.
Your fingers on the pulse. He came up in the most mediocre time in rap history.
Yo.
He made a lot of points were made. That's what they say on Twitter, right? Points were made.
Look.
You know what I'm saying? I'm here for it.
Kwame's not on the wavelength, just like you, Jaws.
Yeah.
Nah.
Damn it,
Kwame's
man.
on point.
Nah, not on the wavelength,
You
bro.
wound
That's
me,
all right.
Sin. You wound me.
Everybody got their wavelength, and you know, Kendrick is not on
So
everybody's
we add
That's
niggas
fine.
in. We add niggas.
Nah, listen.
We gotta be Ed.
Send one niggas. They got the dark roast with the splash of cream or whatever the fuck in the coffee house. I understand. I'm not in the coffee house. I get that. You know what I mean? I understand that shit 100%. Shelby, in last entry for this episode, says, let's not forget. Matter of fact, he talked about it on the live that we did, Culture versus Clickbait. He says, also, let's not forget that Black Girl Lost. Nas rapped about a girl named Isis. Then Jay-Z on Meet the Paris put a girl, wait for it, Isis. Go ahead, Sam. I'm not going to waste too much time talking about that. Get your shit off.
I think that's a little bit of a reach.
I
mean, I'm not going to feed into that. Y'all would think I would just lean into that, but nah. I mean, ISIS is, I mean, come on. Like, y'all going to say that, so the Taliban also like was biting off of Nas.
Yes.
Come on.
Osama bit Nas, bro. Bar
Nah,
for
that's
bar.
crazy. That's crazy.
Line for
You
line.
reaching with that one, bro.
You rock the Kofi and
There is such a
everything.
thing as reaching, and
Listen,
you reach.
man.
All right, so Poison. We got La Madrina. You know what I mean? Fire mixtape.
Thank you.
Do you have
Appreciate
a target range for when the full project album is dropping in 2023, or is it strictly right now in production?
I have a few things that I'm just putting together.
Okay.
I have a lot of music. Just been finding and cleaning up the sound. So you'll hear projects with consistent sounds. So
I like that.
I was a little thirsty. I went looking for it on Apple today, thinking it was going to be there, but
nah, it's only SoundCloud. You know they're gonna take that
Come
shit
on
down.
now.
Oh, it's
Come
on
on.
SoundCloud.
The game has changed.
I wanted to spin that before we started the interview, but you know how
crazy.
it goes.
Are you trying to, without spoiling anything, of course, are you trying to lean more into the first half of the mixtape with the rapping, or are you gonna go more with the melodic vibe, or should we
I
just
think
stay?
it's a mix of both.
Okay.
I like
It's gonna be
that.
a good balance. I think you guys are gonna enjoy what's next.
Okay.
Volume-
I'm excited
Oh,
to
so
hear that.
This is
it
volume one.
wasn't in its final state. Like you're still gonna make some changes. Possibly.
What? And and what I'm working on next?
Madrina.
Nah, that's done.
We
Oh, that's
out.
done.
We're
That's
talking about the album. This is
Yeah,
a
we
mixtape.
talking
Oh,
about the
after.
album.
Oh, you asked
And
after
it-
the
and it's
album.
volume, it's
I'm sorry.
volume one. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
I misunderstood.
Volume two
That's my
coming.
bad.
Yeah. I'm already working on volume 2. I don't know what's maybe summertime, maybe in the fall. It's just so
Summertime's a
many.
good time.
It's just so many other things coming out now. I just gotta wait and see. I feel like I just don't know what direction I'm going in, but
So
it's gonna be
2023
good.
is
You're
a
gonna
loaded
see.
year
You're gonna
for
get.
you?
Yeah, you're gonna see some good work. You're gonna see
That's
some
sick.
good work.
So,
Let us know if you got performances. You know we'll definitely pull
Word.
up.
No,
You in
definitely.
action.
It's about to get little March, April.
Say that.
Maybe I might be in Texas. Just moving around. A couple things happening. You know.
She's active.
South by
Exploring the
Southwest.
landscape,
She
man.
moving, yeah. She moving.
Yeah. I think you guys will be happy.
Yes, we will.
Say
It's
that.
it's not no watered down shit, but it's not like
Say that.
I'm going to sleep with it. This is
Say
like
that.
corny. Like I think we gonna have fun and be creative and just I'm gonna make you feel good. Like
Say
I'm gonna
that.
make you feel good and you gonna feel me.
Dope.
Heard it.
yeah.
Need that.
All right, so we are in Ozone Park.
Yes,
On his
sir.
own part.
We're taking a ride around the block.
Mm-hmm,
I scooped up Poison. I say, yo, Poison, we going uptown. We going to link with Sincere.
mm-hmm.
We get on Sincere's block, and Deanie's on there trying to get us canceled. You know what I mean? So it's a bit of a concern as Deanie tries to get us canceled. Mason's trying to hold him back. But at the end of the day, once we got to Sincere asked him to get the fuck off the lawn.
Man, this is gonna hurt my heart a little. Well, not so much, but I mean, there's still a little like space in my heart that I hold for this platform, this publication, and this outlet. But for this episode, I'm gonna need the source. Yes, the source to get the fuck off my lawn.
5 Mike General.
Oh,
They don't matter
how
anymore.
far they have fallen. The source was once considered like the hip hop Bible. And we were talking earlier heavy, and we talked, quite a bit at this round table about classic albums. Do classic albums even matter? The fact that we even use that term, classic, that came from the source.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I was young, but I don't remember, that term being used prior to like the Source giving 5 mics, and right under 5 mics it said that means it's a classic.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that term, that adjective for a project and for an album has lived for 30 plus years, right? Thanks to the Source, right? And throughout the 90s, you know, the Source was like the beacon of hip hop, publications.
Facts.
But then one day, Benzino decided to take over as co-owner of the Source. Decided to give his group Made Men 4.5 mics. Decided to give his girl at the time, Lil Kim, 5 mics. For La Bella Mafia, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I heard the albums.
Nah, Naked Truth that she mentioned earlier.
The Naked Truth.
Naked Truth.
I'm tripping.
That album was hard. What did you talk
Bella-
about?
it was
5 mics?
That came out in 02. Naked Truth was 05.
Right.
Thank you.
That album
We'll put
was
your lighters up
hard.
and all of that on
Yeah,
there.
That, because you ain't relate to it, don't mean it was 5.
Yes, off the top.
We weren't on the
Off
wavelength,
the top.
We weren't on the
That shit was
wavelength.
hard.
Off the top.
It was hard though.
All right. I don't know
That's
about 5
some
mics though. Anyway,
That's
It was
some
hard.
Jones.
I don't know about 5 mics.
I don't know about 5 mics.
That one.
Could have gave it 4. Anyway,
Rena.
but what's it?
I'm out, man. I ain't really, y'all wildin'.
But ever since
It's just because you don't relate to it. That's it.
ever since then, right? It's been downhill for the Source, and to the point where like people don't even really talk about the
XXL
outlet
passed them.
right? XXL just like whizzed right by them.
Yes, sir.
And so, but now all of a sudden they crop back up in the headlines and in the trending topics.
Gross.
And I'm like, yo, why is the Source trending right now? What's going on with the Source? What did they do? Did they like change owners? Are they are they back to their like the old ways or whatever? And come to find out, they tweeted, and I'm gonna read the tweet verbatim. Wait, DJ Jazzy Jeff is a real DJ? LOL. Though that was just a title on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I'm crying.
And
Even I knew that.
you know what I mean?
You know how vital DJ Jazzy Jeff has been to the fucking
To the
hip hop scene, bro?
Culture, bro.
Like-
it's culture. And I'm looking at this and I'm like,
First
damn,
rap
I don't know.
Grammy, bro.
Yo, talk about
First
it.
rap Grammy
First
for
rap
parents don't
Grammy.
understand.
Talk about it,
with
Dean.
Fresh Prince.
Let them know.
Crazy.
And
Back
so
to you, Sin.
I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't know if this was a joke.
Wow.
I don't know if it was real or not. I don't know if, but it looks real. And I'm just like, damn, bro, like the Source,
Wow.
y'all did bad with this one, man. But look, I don't know what type of uncultured heathens y'all have working y'all social media accounts, or what type
Somebody gotta say it.
what type of youngsters y'all got over there that are not cultured enough to understand and know these things. But a quick search, if you would have done a search real quick, a Google search would have brought up all types of DJ live sets on YouTube, would have brought up all types of projects that's on Spotify and Apple Music. But y'all couldn't take the time to just do a quick research, a quick search. Y'all wanted to like question whether he was a real DJ or not. But I guess it's
Listen,
I guess
it's running long now.
I guess I can't expect anything less from a generation that calls academics a DJ.
Low blow.
Wow, bro.
It is what
That's
it is.
crazy,
Was it
bro.
worth it?
Yes,
worth
it was.
Thank you.
It was.
Thank you. Yeah, no, the Source. Y'all got to get off on it.
If after wild years, decades, you don't know that DJ Jazzy Jeff is an actual DJ. If you got some kid from Wisconsin who doesn't know rap running your Twitter page, if you're not tapped into the culture in 2023, but you call yourself the Source,
Yeah.
if you don't realize that the Source is not valid in 2023,
If you
Yeah.
gave Bun B Trail,
Jarvis tried to cut me off, but what the other
That
point I was
part.
going to make, the Source, y'all just need to change y'all name. Just get a different name. Like, y'all can't keep calling yourselves the Source.
if you don't realize that Benzino
Some
got y'all
rebranding.
out of here 30 years or 20 years ago,
If you gave Bun B Trill OG 5 mics.
Wow, the straight shot at Bun B though.
Yeah.
Yo.
The point is, the source, we don't give a fuck. We haven't give a fuck in mad years. Just kill your Twitter page, kill your Instagram, so you can kill your shit too. Honestly, Double XL can kill their shit too. We don't care what the freshman class.
That it.
Honestly.
Get the fuck out of here. Anyway,
Time for a rebrand, guys.
heard. So,
2023s and beyond.
Poison, we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having
You've
me.
been a great guest. You've been very
I'm on the lawn.
yes, heavily on the lawn.
You're always invited onto the lawn.
Little
Thoughtful.
champagne, little spliff on the lawn.
Thoughtful
Yeah.
response.
Talk about it.
We appreciate you having us, for your listening.
Thank you. Did you guys have fun?
We had
Great
a great
time.
time.
Absolutely.
Yo,
Great
whoever
time.
made the plantain chips, sidebar, wow, sidebar.
With the garlic on
plantain
them?
chips with a little garlic on there. Oh, that shit was
I'm
fire.
glad, you know.
That was
You
a
know
good,
what I mean?
it was a good vibe. I was in there
Good
hiding
vibe.
Keith Van Horst socks, man.
I like that you came out of the studio and you started to vibe with, you started to basically do a performance
Of course.
mid-listener session. We
Great
thought that was
energy.
ill. We love that you came on here. We love that the timing set up perfectly for you to pull up to the pod, and you were a great guest. You know what I mean? Sometimes
Thank
people
you, thank
hesitate to speak. We've had some guests who gave us like 3-word answers. You were part of the show. We appreciate that.
Thank you for having me. I had fun.
For the people who don't know you, who you are, where can they tap in with Poison on social media?
You can find me on Instagram, Poison911. That's Poison with 2 I's, Poiison 911. If you find me on Instagram, just click the link in bio. You'll find everything else.
Say that.
So,
Mace, we didn't have a segment this week from you, but we know 65, you're going to have something for us. So, let us know what's coming.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Next week, I'm going to combine the voice and the voice of the young people. I'm going to take something that Sin actually shed light on. NBA YoungBoy basically coming out and saying that, he is disrupting the youth. And next week, we're going to see if hip-hop has a negative effect on the youth. That's what we're going to check out next year. That's what we're going to do the deep dive on.
That's
Y'all
a good
gotta
one.
tap in for
Yes,
that.
sir.
Heavy.
Wow.
That's a good one.
That's crazy, bro.
Deanie, take us home.
Yo, right now the Casamigos is winning the battle, but y'all know the vibes. Shout out to Maycito. No longer voice of the young people, voice of the industry, telling you all the shit you need to hear.
My God.
Fuck with that, man. You hear the production in the background. You hear it? That's so sincere. Come with a check. We don't do freebies here. Excellent execution. Plays ran. Lobs thrown. Fucking Jarv, the point guard, always keeping us on our toes. Shout out to our special guest, Poison, the entertainer supreme. Looking forward to hearing big things from you. Seeing you just making moves. We were just really impressed by what you did that night at Quad, man.
Thank you.
Very exceptional. I am
Thank
Deanie,
you.
the balance of the force. Once again, I'm super drunk. Shout out to Walt. He always takes care of us.
Shout out to Walt.
It's like 9 degrees outside, but we fuck with niggas.
It's cold in New
The
York.
Rap
today,
Roundtable is in the building. Tap with us, episode 64. 65 will be coming out soon, too. Fuck
Sir.
with us. We out!
Yes, sir.
The heroes you need.
And if there's no 65, it's Deanie's fault.
Yo, we're going to do 65. I'll fix it, y'all. I'll fix it.
Hey, Jay Dilla forever.
Jay
Yes,
Dilly.
sir. Rest in peace.
Donuts.
To one of the GOATs.
Good shit, y'all.